Amazon is in a class of its own. The company now the most expensive stock in the S&P 500, trading at a valuation of more than 900 times earnings. That's something you may want to consider if you are thinking of buying Amazon or other pricey shares like it. Dominic Chu explains why investors are taking note of this eye-popping valuation.
There's a reason why some stock investors are concerned about the market, and it has to do with valuations and whether or not valuations are getting lofty. So what we're looking at is something called price to earnings ratio, or how much you pay in stock price for every $1 of earnings that the company generates. Now, over time, it's varied. Now, we'll take a look at this chart here, because back to the internet bubble peaks in 1999, the large cap S&P 500 traded at around 30 times earnings, paying $30 in stock price for every $1 in profits that it generated per share. Now, that was back then. Today, we're nowhere near that level. We're closer to around 19 times earnings. But the reason why there's a little bit of concern is you can see that upward trajectory. Valuations are getting higher, and they're higher than they have been over the course of the past 15 or 16 years on average. Now, there are specific companies that are driving a lot of headlines right now, namely some of the more momentum-oriented names. Take a look at this. Under Armour, athletic apparel, gym clothes, gym shoes, that sort of thing. They currently trade at 95 times earnings, meaning it'll cost you $95 in stock price for every $1 of earnings that Under Armour generates. Now, these are all growth companies, so they may be justified in terms of valuations, but again, there's a debate right now. Netflix, the online streaming giant, 305 times earnings, and then the biggest one of them all in the S&P 500, internet retail giant Amazon.com, which currently trades at 972 times earnings. So when it comes to valuations, there's a debate right now. These are all very big growth companies, and they've provided some stock returns, but have they risen by enough to justify some of these valuations we've seen? That's a big debate that's happening right now on Wall Street. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Dominic Chu.